Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking to you about one of my favourite subjects and talking you through some of my editions of The Lord of the Rings by J.R. Tolkien. And I thought I'd show you some of the best editions and talk you through each of them ahead of MiddleEarthAthon on August the 27th. I'm going to start off with the very beautiful second editions of the Lord of the Rings, and these are split up into 3 separate volumes with the Fellowship of the Ring, the Two Towers and the Return of the King. These are actually not mine. I've borrowed them from my shelf from Hannah from Ledette M, because I have a Lord of the Rings shelf, and these editions are stunning. They've got the red sprayed edge. For some reason Fellowship of the Ring is a lot brighter than the other two, but these editions have maps included, which are just lovely, which you know, always gotta love a map. And these are second editions from the 60s, from 1966, and I really like the green covers. And it says revised edition, which is because they're the second edition, I think, but I absolutely adore them. The spines are beautiful. They have all the same, like, Eye of Sauron with the ring motif on all of them. They match. So those are the first 2 I'm going to talk about. Then I'm going to talk about the edition I'm currently reading. I'm reading along with this with the audiobook, but this is the brand new paperback edition of the bind up of all 3. Now, Tolkien famously wrote The Lord of the Rings as one big edition, and it's how he would have liked the story to be told, in one rolling story. So I absolutely adore this edition. It has got the maps on the French style flaps, and it's got the zoomed in version here on the other side, and this is like 1,000 pages long, I think, just over. Yes, a lot over. It is 1,178 pages. It has the appendices and it has an index, and yeah, I'm listening to the audiobooks by Andy Serkis, which are absolutely fabulous. I'm really enjoying it, but this edition of this book is so pretty. Again, we've got the ring motifs with the Eye of Sauron, and yeah, it's a chunker, but actually the books aren't too bad. I've just finished the Two Towers and I'm starting Return of the King, so I will definitely be finished with this reread before August, which is fabulous, which is what I wanted. I bought mine from Waypoint Books because Hannah managed to get this in for me, which was great, so that is linked down in the description down below, and if it's not on Hannah's website, she'll be able to get it in for you, in theory. And then my favourite edition that I own is this edition, which is the hardback bind up edition with the red sprayed edge and the Elvish script along the stenciled edge, which I absolutely adore. It is blocks on the top, and it's got a ribbon bookmark, and it's just very plain on the front. It's got the little eye, but when you put the dust jacket back on, it's got the one ring, and again, that eye motif, and it's also got Tolkien's signature, which is very shiny and nice, and it's also got Elvish script. The spine looks like this with the little Tolkien symbol, and again, that motif, and yeah, it's stunning. It also comes with the same maps as the revised edition, but yeah, so they're all the same. And it's got this last one in the back, and again, this one I was gifted by Bookish Danny, my housemate, last year when this first came out, because I'm pretty sure this one came out last year. And yes, I got it from Waterstones, and I love it. I also love the other Waterstones edition, which has got the gold, like the gold edges, but I adore this one because I love this so much. Now I'm going to go on to this edition of the Silmarillion. This one is also Hannah's, Ledette M's edition, but again, it fits on my lovely Lord of the Rings shelf. I believe she said she got this from a charity shop for like for £1. It was in a charity shop, and this is the Guild Classics version, or edition. And this is a first reprint in 1991, and it's just a really pretty edition. The Silmarillion is obviously the lore, how the first Dark Lord, who was Morgoth, and the Silmarils and the elves and like all of the elvish lore to do with the Tree of Varnor, I believe. And it's lovely, it's great. I haven't read the Silmarillion yet. I will be, and I think I'm going to be trying to read it in MiddleEarthAthon because it'll give me a reason to finish my Tolkien journey. I do have another edition of the Silmarillion. This is the one that I stole from my dad, I think. And it's this one, this edition of the Silmarillion. And again, this has been well loved, but it's also still in prime condition, really. Like, it's just old. Like, the pages are all yellow, but this is probably the edition I will read because it's nice and floppy. The spine is not going to break, and this is a really pretty edition. It's the paperback. I think this is like one of the oldest ones. Yes, this is a first edition paperback from 1979, which is fun. And it was bought for £1.25, which is insane. So this is the Fall of Gondolin, and this is one of the additional books, and it's got art by Alan Lee. And this talks of the fall of one of the greatest elvish cities after an attack by the Balrogs. And it really puts into perspective when you consider Gandalf's fall, spoilers, I guess, fall in Fellowship of the Ring against the Balrog, and how insane that was, because Balrogs are insanely powerful, and this really hits home with that. But basically it follows a wanderer as he finds his way to Gondolin. And weirdly, this is one of the things I really, really hope they put in the Rings of Power show. I think it would be super interesting. Gondolin is like this huge elvish city, and it gets besieged, even though like it's supposed to be really hard to get to because it's like through mountain passes, and like there's only secret ways to get to it. It's like surrounded by mountains, so in theory it's unsiegeable. You can't get to it, but they do, and as the title suggests, it falls. So it'd be really interesting to see that play out on screen. We come to this edition of The Hobbit, and if you know The Hobbit, it's not this chunky. So this also includes a brief history, and it contains the complete manuscript of the Hobbit. Now, I used this for my university. I did a dissertation on Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and Tolkien in general, and I also spoke about the films within my dissertation, with them being an adaptation. But I use this one because it has a lot of like intros, and yeah, it's got a whole load of like histories towards how Tolkien wrote The Hobbit. And I love The Hobbit, don't get me wrong. I love Bilbo. I don't like Thorin, but I like the brotherhood of the dwarves, and I think it's a really charming tale of finding yourself and your own strength, and it's just a charming tale for children. I love that the original version of The Hobbit, Bilbo doesn't steal the ring from Gollum. Like, he does get gifted the ring from Gollum for being so clever, and that becomes when he rewrote it essentially to become a prequel for Lord of the Rings. He changed it so he stole it from Gollum, and that the original story was Bilbo's lie and what he told Gandalf and the dwarves so that he didn't get in trouble. I absolutely love that. So this is what I used for my university degree and my dissertation. I also have another book that I've borrowed from Hannah for my Lord of the Rings shelf, and that is this stunning edition of The Hobbit. And this has got illustrations by Gemma Caitlin, and they're such charming illustrations. Every time I kind of like flick through here, like they're just lovely. Got the big spider, which is I don't like spiders. But you also have Bilbo constantly looking confused, and I just think it's just incredible. The barrel riding scene, which is probably one of my favourite scenes, but I just think in general this edition's lovely. The spine, again, very shiny, very sorry, but the spine is beautiful. So again, borrowed this from Hannah. Then for the last three books I have on my Lord of the Rings shelves, and all three are stunning. Of course they are. They're not Lord of the Rings books, but they are three very helpful breakdowns of all parts of Tolkien's lore and world and these are all books by David Day, and that is Tolkien, a dictionary, which is essentially just literally a dictionary of all the words you will find in Tolkien's world and a breakdown of what they mean. Very helpful. The Hobbits of Tolkien, which is a breakdown of Hobbit lore. You know, it talks about like the origins. I'm yet to read this one, but again, these are full of like charming illustrations as well. You know, and the Shire looks like such a beautiful place. Like, we all want to escape to the Shire, right? And then we also have an Atlas of Tolkien, which Hannah lent me. It's on my shelf anyway. And again, these are literally all of like the places in Lord of the Rings. So it's got a little map there of Middle-earth and all sorts. The trees filled Valinor with a radiant light, and it talks about like all the different ages and the different places you can go and different battles. Look at these hobbits, look at them, look how cute they are. But all three of these books give you additional insights to the Lord of the Rings world, and I can definitely recommend you David Day's books. He's a lovely guy, he honestly knows what he's doing, and they're just really pretty. I haven't got the entire set of David Day's books, like he's got plenty of others that I haven't got yet, so looking forward to when I get them. But yeah, those are the Lord of the Rings editions I have in my shelf. If you are interested in any of these, get in touch with Hannah, because I'm sure she might be able to get you any edition that you're looking for. But let me know if you're planning on taking part in MiddleEarthAthon, which is going on in the last week of August to celebrate the Rings of Power show. Let me know which team you're going to be participating in, and if you have got nothing else to say, put a sun emoji down in the comments down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks, guys.